Good morning, dear students. This is Sandhya Srihari. How are you all? And this is my YouTube channel Vidyapita. In today's session, we'll be learning about the first chapter of class 10 syllabus called as real numbers. This is a continued portion of the 9th standard's first chapter called as number system. Number system was coagulated with n number of information and we are carrying it forward. Let us pop into the PPT here and try to reveal the whole world of maths in a easy way, in a determined way, so that your learning process goes easy, simple and blissful. To start with real numbers, if we have to define a real number is a combination of rational number as well as an irrational number. Rational numbers, you all know, it is represented in the form of p by q, where q is not equal to 0, and irrational numbers are the numbers which can be represented in rooted form. Let us pop into the next slide here. What are we going to learn in this particular session? So, the topics covered in this session are based on the introduction, the basics topics, like you will be allotted with what are the different types of numbers with us, like whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers and various other things. The second topic covered will be complete chapter explanation, theorems, LCM and HCF. You will be learning about how to find the LCM, how to find the HCF of the whole given questions to you. And then we will be covering the NCERT exercise solutions, step-by-step analyzation. All the exercise questions will be done in a systematic order so that you can pause the video, look into it, reframe it, write it down and do a lot of revision work. Then last but not the least, important questions with respect to board exams. So our focus of learning will be with respect to board exam on scoring 100 on 100. Okay. So let us start and going to the third slide. So as I told you, the third slide is basically giving you basic concepts. See, you have been learning about all the types of numbers from class 6. When we start class 6, the system of education is changing and the mathematics has given us a hell lot of information also. So, not to worry about if you don't know any basic concepts, because I am here to make your work simpler, easier with tips and tricks added to you. So, let us learn about the basics of number, the magic world of number. Okay. The first number that every student should know is a natural number. Natural numbers, we have just designed it in the form of a Venn diagram in which you are able to see the natural number is the chotu one here inside. Natural numbers is a set of numbers belonging to 1, 2, 3 till infinity. That means it is starting from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. going till infinity. The set of natural numbers is always represented by capital N. The set of natural numbers is always represented by capital N. This is the analyzation or the number representation of a natural number. Then we call a whole number. What's a whole number? Whole number is a set of number which starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. till infinity. So, I can basically say that natural number is lying inside a whole number. So, the Venn diagram here goes for natural number inside and the whole number circle is coming or popping out of it. Okay. The third number what we have to learn is called as an integers. Integers are the set of numbers with 0 at the center. Towards the right hand side I have my positive numbers and towards the left hand side I have my negative numbers. If I have to represent integers, it is just like a number line in which I have centered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. till infinity towards the right hand side, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative infinity towards my left hand side. Integers are represented by Z. Z is the alphabetical representation of an integer. Going to the third or fourth one called as rational numbers. We all know what is a rational number. For example, if we have to understand it in a better manner, if I take a square, I take a square, divide it into 4 equal parts, and I am shading 1 out of it. How can I write this fraction as? I can write this fraction as the shaded portion, that is 1, divided by the whole number of divisions 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can write the fraction in the form of a part by whole, and this is called as a fraction. When we represent a fraction as 1 by 4, in this is giving me the analyzation of numerator and this is giving me the analyzation of denominator. So a rational number can be represented in P by Q format where Q is not equal to 0. This is the major thing we have to understand. Why do we say Q is not equal to 0? Because if I take the same fraction 1 by 4, instead of 4 if I place it as 1 by 0, that means I have to divide 1 with 0. Can I divide it? Do you think it is possible? I don't think so, because any number multiplied with 0 is giving me 0 only, so I can't divide it at all. That is the reason we say that the denominator of a rational number, which is Q, cannot or should not be represented by 0. Therefore, rational numbers are those numbers which can be represented by P by Q form where Q is not equal to 0. Okay. So let us now learn about real numbers. As the chapter name is telling us about real numbers, we have to focus on this concept of real numbers. What are real numbers? I told you at the beginning of the class. Real numbers are combination of the upper part rational number and the lower part irrational number. Just now we learned what is a rational number, correct? It's a P by Q format representation where Q is not equal to 0. When we come to irrational numbers are the numbers which are not at all going to divide until infinity. That means if I take a rooted term called as root 2, if I take root 2 and try to divide, the value of root 2 will go for 1.41428 and it goes on. It is a never ending process. So when a number cannot be divided until infinity, I call it as an irrational number. And rational numbers are the numbers represented in P by Q form where Q is not equal to 0. The combination of this term, that's a rational number, and an irrational number gives me the analyzation of the main frame of the chapter called as a real number. So what are real numbers? The sum of rational, a bunch of rational number taken together with the sum of irrational number taken together is called a real number. I hope you all are understanding, so that we can take a quick check on the Venn diagram. So if we analyze numbers in a quick format, natural number lies at the end point here. The natural number is a part of whole number also. Whole number lies as a part of integer. Integer lies as a part of rational numbers. Rational and irrational together is giving me the main frame of the chapter called as real numbers. Moving on to the next slide. Let us analyze, let us quickly revise and learn, as learning is a process and we have to just be quick with it so that we can understand the things in a better manner. Alright, now moving on to the first theorem of our NCERT textbook. The NCERT textbook is giving us the perfection of what we have to learn in class 10 syllabus. But according to me, this textbook is not going to be the complete set of things what we have to learn. We have to be much improvised, much more relevant topics has to be covered. So watch us, subscribe us, like us, and do share your comments so that we can give you a more amount of information that is required. We'll also get to know more about you and you will be able to tell us what type of videos are required from our end to you. Okay, moving on to theorem 1.1. The theorem 1.1 is called as fundamental theorem of arithmetic. This theorem is called as fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Let us understand the statement of the theorem. Every composite number can be expressed or factorized as a product of primes, and this factorization is unique apart from the order in which the factors, prime factors occur. It's a beautiful concept if you understand it in a better manner. What is maths telling us? It is the day by day analyzation of whatever things in and around us. So fundamental theorem of arithmetic is telling me, I'll take a quick example here. If I have a number called as 125, now I am taking the prime factorization of the number. This is divisible by 5, so giving me 25 here. Again divisible by 5, so this is giving me 5 and 1. So I can write 125 as 5 into 5 into 5. This is the basic prime factorization of the number 125. Now I am taking another number called as 360. I can divide this number by 2, giving me 180. Again 2 giving me 90. Again 2 giving me 30. So 30 taken on the order, dividing 10, then 5. So if I write the prime factors of 360 here, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 power 4 into 3 into 5. Now the theorem, let us go back to the statement of the theorem. Every composite number. So what is a composite number? The number which has more than one factor is called a composite number. So that number can be factorized or expressed as a product of prime numbers. See here, 360 is a composite number which is expressed as a product of three prime numbers, that is 2, 3 and 5. And they are also telling that the prime factorization is very unique. For each number, this factors of prime combination is unique. Why do we say this? I took two examples here. One was 125. We got the prime factors of 125 as 5 cube, written as 5 into 5 into 5. Now I took another number 360. The factors of prime factorization of 360 was 2 power 4 into 3 into 5. Both the numbers represented here having the prime factorization, but they are very unique. I can't write 360's prime factorization as 5 cube or 125's prime factorization as 2 power 4 into 3 into 5. Therefore, the prime factorization is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors are represented. I can write this prime factorization as 3 into 5 into 2 power 4 or 5 into 2 power 4 into 3. Since it is a multiplication, obviously when the orders of the prime numbers are changed, the number multiplied will not change. It will give me the result as 360 itself. Therefore, fundamental theorem of arithmetic is giving us the analyzation of representing a composite number in the form of prime numbers, multiples, where the order does not matter. That is the unique thing that we have to understand here. So if we have to memorize and understand the statement, you have to keep three important words in your mind. One is, first, composite numbers are represented, expressed as product of prime numbers. This is the keyword. And the factorization is unique. Three important words. Composite number expressed as the product of primes and the representation is unique. If you remember these three words and understand the example given here, fundamental theorem is understood and you will be able to master in it. Popping to the next slide. Yes. So moving on to certain examples on finding the prime factorization of the given number. The first example is, find the prime factorization of 145. I am writing the number 145, okay, and trying to find the prime factors of the given number. 145. I know the ones place has 5 here, therefore this number will be divisible by 5. Therefore dividing by 5, 2s are 9s are. Now can I further divide this with any number? This 29 is a prime number. What's a prime number? Prime number are those numbers which have only 1 as its factor. 29 will not come in any number or any tables. That is the reason we say it is a prime number. Therefore, the product of or the prime factorization of 145 will be 5 into 29 or 5 power 1 into 29 power 1. Second example, 3250. Taking the prime factorization, I'll divide it with 2, a prime number, 1s are, 6s are, 2s are, 5s are. Again, 5 in my ones place, so divisible by 5. 5 3s are 15, 2s are, 5s are. Again 5 in the ones place, so dividing by 5, 6s are, 5s are. Again 5 in the ones place, dividing by 5, 1s are, 3s are. 13 is a prime number, so directly dividing by 13 giving me 1. Therefore, the prime factorization of 3250 is 2 into 5 cube into 13 power 1. See the magic of maths. Here I have 145, the product of the primes are unique. Here I have 3250, the product of the primes are unique. Let us again try with 1125. The third example. So 5, 2s are, 2s are, 5s are. Again 5, 4s are, 5s are. Again 5, 9s are. 3, 3s are, 3, 1s are. So 1125. Come on, tell with me, the product of primes of 1125 will be 5 cube into 3 square. So the unique representation of each number with the powers is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Here it does not matter whether I write the products as 13 into 2 into 5 cube, or I write the product as 5 cube into 13 into 2. The manner of representation does not matter. Only thing that matters is we have to take prime numbers. If you don't take prime numbers, like here, if you directly take 10 and divide it, that's not the exact method what you have to follow. Okay? Next, going ahead, what is meant by a HCF and an LCM? Two important topics which you are been learning from class 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th syllabus is giving us this analyzation. Let us quickly wind it up. What is HCF? HCF is highest common factor and LCM is giving us the abbreviation of lowest common multiple. We have two important words. To understand, we have two important words. The words are, one is a factor, the other is a multiple. I am just writing it just below the question I have taken to make you people understand what is a multiple and what is a factor. Multiple means if I take two tables, the multiples of 2 are 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8, 10, etc. That means the exact tables, what we say, 2 tables, 3 tables, 10 tables. The multiples of 11 will be 11, 22, 33, 44, etc. These are called the multiples. But when I come to a factor concept, what is a factor? If I have a number called as 60, I have a number called as 60, I have to analyze 60 comes in which and all tables. 60 come in two tables as 2 with a combination of 30. 2 30s are 60. So it comes in 2 tables as well as 30 table. It comes in 6 tables, 6 10s are 60. It comes in 5 tables, 5 12s are 60. Then it comes in 3 tables, 3 into 20 is 60. So I can easily say that 60 has so many factors. The factors of 60 are, okay. It also comes in 1 into 60 combination. Therefore, the factors of 60 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 30, 10, 20, 12, etc. So, what is the exact analyzation? If I say a multiple, I have to check for the tables. If I say factors, I have to look into which table it is going to come. If this concept is clear for you, we can easily understand what is the meaning of LCM, HCF, and given n number of question, I can easily solve it. Moving on to the upper part of the slide in which we have what is a LCM and HCF. If I have to find the LCM of given number, I will first of all check the prime factors of the given number. For example, If I take this same example, that is find the LCM and HCF of 6 and 20 using prime factorization method. This example is taken in NCERT textbook with example question on the year 2023-24. We have given you the exact version of the same question which is there in the NCERT textbook, so that it will be helpful for you to analyze it. Let us take this example. Find the LCM and HCF of the given number 6 and 20 using prime factorization method. First, what we'll do, the first step what we have to follow is, I have to analyze first, take prime factorization of given numbers. The two given numbers are 6 and 20. So I'll take the prime factors of 6. 2 3s is 6, 3 1s are. Then I'll take the prime factorization of 20. 2 10s are 20, 2 5s are 10, 5 1s are. Now I'll write it in one corner. 6 has a prime factorization of 2 power 1, 3 power 1. 20 has a prime factorization of 2 square into 5 power 1. Now you might notice here that I have written 2 square and left a gap with 5 power 1. Why did I do this? In order to equalize the other prime number which is not there with me. So what I will do, I will write here 3 power 0, I will write here 5 power 0. This is a unique technique what you have to follow in order to avoid the errors. Okay. Next, after writing the prime factors of the given number, if I have to find the LCM, the expansion of LCM is lowest common multiple. It is telling us it is the lowest common multiple, but I have to take the maximum power of the given prime numbers. I have to take the maximum power. So out of these two, 6 and 20, I have 2, 3, 5 as my prime numbers. For 2, which is the maximum power? 2 power 1 or 2 power 2? Obviously 2 power 2, so I'll take 2 square into, out of 3 power 1, 3 power 0, which is the maximum power? 3 power 1. Out of 5 power 0, 5 power 1, which is the maximum power? 5 power 1. So taking the maximum powers is going to give me the LCM. Now I'll find the product of these numbers. So 2 square is 4, 4 5s are 20, 23s are will be 60. Therefore, the LCM of 6 and 20 will be 60. So now if we have to find the HCF, HCF is highest common factor. HCF is highest common factor. Highest I will underline, but my mind should strike to take the minimum, ulta of it, that is minimum power. Minimum power of what? Minimum power of these prime numbers. So I will write HCF here. I have 3 prime numbers with me, that is 2, 3 and 5. Out of 2 power 1, 2 square, the minimum power is 2 power 1. Out of 3 power 1 and 3 power 0, minimum power is 3 power 0. Out of 5 power 0 and 5 power 1, the minimum power is 5 power 0. Now, what is 3 power 0? 1. What is 5 power 0? 1 into 2. So, the product of these are 2. Therefore, the HCF of 2, 20 and 60 will be 2. Now, you people are understanding why I took this 3 power 0 and 5 power 0 in order to avoid the mistake. When you are equalizing the power, you are easily able to detect what is the highest power, what is the least power. At that point of time, your work will be simpler, easier, and you will be able to follow a systematic manner so that you will score more. So, this is the method of finding HCF as well as LCM using prime factorization method, taking an example of NCERT example question which is going to help you out in your future. Let us move on. In this slide, we are again having or taken some important questions of NCERT exercise 1.1. The first main of this exercise is giving us to find or asking us to find the HCF and LCM of the following numbers. You can pause the video for a while, as I have taught you in the previous example how to find HCF and LCM using prime factorization method. Pause my video, do it in your book, then play the video. I am going to solve it with you. You can just analyze whether your steps and my steps are matching, as well as are you correct, whether you are on the right track. Let us have a quick check. Pause my video, and when you are just rewinding it and able to see the working of my answer, you will be happy that you have done it on your own. So I am doing it here for you, but you have to pause the video and do it in your book. The first question, finding the prime factorization of 96 and 104. Taking 96 in one corner, prime factors 96, 2 48s, 2 24s, 2 12s, 2 6s, 2 3s, 3 1s. This analyzation very important. If you are not getting, you can comment me below so that I will give you a brief explanation on how to easily find the prime factorization in a different video. Going to 404, again divisible by 2, 202, again divisible by 2, so 101. 101 is a prime number, so we will leave it at this end. Writing the prime numbers at one corner, 96 giving me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 power 5 into 3 power 1. 404 is giving me a prime factorization of 2 square into 101. Remember, in the previous question also I wrote it in the same format. In between 3 was not there, I left a space. Here also I am following the same technique. You should also do the same technique with me. Now equalizing the powers, this is 3 naught, this is 101 naught. Now LCM in this corner, HCF in this corner. I told you LCM is lowest common multiple, lowest, but I have to take the maximum power. I am writing it here again, maximum power. So I have 3 prime numbers with me, 2, 3 and 101. For the maximum power of 2 will go for 2 power 5, 3 power 1 and 101 power 1. The product of this is giving me the LCM. I hope you will do it and tell me the answer. Comment below for the answer here. Then finding HCF is giving me highest common factor. Highest is the abbreviation, but I have to take the minimum power. I have 3 prime factors, 2, 3 and 101. The minimum power, you can check, 2 square, 2 power 5, minimum power is 2 square. 3 power 1, 3 power 0, minimum power 3 power 0. 101 power 1, 101 power 0, minimum power is 101 power 0. When we have anything raised to 0, that is directly 1 into 1. So 2 square is 4. Hence HCF of 96 and 404 is 4. Tell me what is the LCM. Comment below. Now you can try again, pause my video, go for the second question as well as the third question. Comment your answers below and then rewind the video and check the answer in a while. Moving to the second question. Second question has 125 and 44. Let us try to find the prime factorization of both of the numbers. 125 is divisible by 5, therefore giving me 25, then 5 giving me 5 and 5 with a 1. 44 has 2, 22, 2, 11, 11 with 1. As usual, I am writing the prime factors here. 125 written as 5 cube and 44 written as 2 square into 11 power 1. Remember, I am giving a gap when I don't have the same prime number. Therefore, equalizing the power, 5 power 0, 2 power 0, 11 power 0. Then making two sections, one is LCM, the other is HCF. You have to remember now what we have to take, highest power or lowest power. LCM, lowest common multiple, maximum power. Maximum power. Write it down in your book so that you will be used to it. So the maximum powers here between 5 is 5 cube. The maximum power between 2's are 2 square. The maximum power between 11's are 11 power 1. So if we have to multiply, this is 125 into 8 into 11. That is giving you the answer. Comment me the answer below. Quick, quick. Now moving on to HCF, I have to take the minimum powers. Write it again in the lower order of your paper so that you will be able to analyze it properly. Between the given prime numbers, for 5s I have 5 naught as the minimum one, for 2s I have 2 naught as the minimum one, and for 11s I have 11 naught as the minimum one. Very peculiar case. Therefore, 5 per 0 is giving 1, 2 per 0 is also 1, 11 per 0 is also 1. Therefore, the product of these is 1. Hence, I say the HCF of given number 125 and 44 is 1. When I have a common HCF between the two numbers as 1, I can say these two numbers are co-prime. Okay, analyzing and understanding about co-prime, I will do it in a different video and share it with you. Now I think you are fine with the first question and second question. We have done an elaborated method and given you an important equalized power, a trick where you can go with no errors. I hope you will be doing the third question, which is finding LCM and HCF of 144 and 98 in your book, and you will be sharing your comments with me. Like us, subscribers, this is Vidya Peeta and I am Sandhya, going to give you more amount of videos with this kind of tricks and tips.